You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, it is Thursday the 13th of March 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. Haven't written today, knew I probably wouldn't. I basically had a day out today, so I've got a friend in London, someone I work with actually, although the way my job works, we've only actually worked together once for a 4-day period. We got on really well and we basically went out and did some National Trustee type stuff around the Oxfordshire area, and after that went and had a really nice pub dinner. She's very good at choosing these sort of slightly out of the way places that just do really good food. So we had what was it, we both had the same starter. It was like a haggis Scotch egg. It was absolutely delightful. So yeah, so it's just a really nice day out. But like I say, I didn't do any writing. I almost said yesterday that I would not do a podcast today because, and what I'm trying to do now is get into the habit of telling you if I'm not going to do a podcast rather than just not do one, because that seems like the sensible thing to do. But I didn't think about it yesterday until after I'd done the podcast. Tomorrow, on the other hand, I'm catching up with another friend, but probably not until lunchtime, which means I hopefully will do some writing in the morning. I got home, what time is it now? It is about 9 o'clock at night. I got home just after 9 p.m. and I did consider maybe trying to do something with chapter 6, which is the next chapter of Still Life that I need to look at. But the reality is I'm quite tired. I've had a really good day, but I am tired now. So I thought perhaps it's not a good idea. So instead of doing some work on the book, as I say, if I end up seeing my other friend at about lunchtime tomorrow, I'll try and get something done beforehand. And then I'm doing things both Saturday and Sunday, but not that will take all day. So I should get some stuff done those 2 days. I really want to get this book signed off by the end of the month, but we shall see. So what am I doing now? Well, I've just flopped down on the sofa in front of the telly and I'm going to watch Twin Peaks. Now, I don't know if anybody listening to this remembers Twin Peaks. So if you watch episode 1 of Twin Peaks, the very first episode transmitted in 1989, you would assume it was a standard, maybe slightly quirky police procedural about the murder of a high school girl called Laura Palmer. Indeed, that's where it starts, but it very quickly gets kind of weird and surreal. And they did... The first season was only 8 episodes. It was like a mid-season replacement type thing, I think. But then they got a full second season of 22 episodes, which is where it went wrong. Because, of course, you can't keep up the who killed Laura Palmer mystery forever. And then they floundered a little bit. They didn't really know. It felt like they didn't know where they were going storyline-wise. And they lost a shitload of viewers after it was revealed who had killed Laura Palmer and why. And then another interesting storyline, which was related to the death of Laura Palmer, came into it. But by the time they got to the kind of massive cliffhanger at the end of the second season, which left an awful lot of characters in a really deeply horrible situation, it got cancelled. So you never found out. So I think it was in 1991 it was cancelled. So 26 years later, in 2017... a new series was announced, and although it is 25 years later, it literally continues the story. It's very interesting. It's 18 roughly 1 hour episodes. They're usually slightly a bit less, but it's just weird. It's basically like one big long movie that's been split up into roughly hour chunks for television broadcast. And I don't know how to describe it, how odd it is. There are great bits. There's loads that doesn't make sense, a bit like in the original Twin Peaks series. But then there's also stuff from the original show which they never got to answer, which has been answered. So, for example, there were pages missing from Laura Palmer's diary. And we finally got to find out 26 years later what was in those pages. And I'm assuming they went with their original plan, because the revelation that there are two Agent Coopers. Agent Cooper is the FBI agent that comes in to investigate the case, played by Carl McLachlan. And what's lovely about this new series is basically almost everybody who was still alive who was in the original series has appeared in this. And I mean actor. There's the only major character that I don't think is going to show up is Donna Hayward. I think the actor's still around, but and then Sheriff Truman isn't in this. The original Sheriff Truman, his brother's in it, but the original actor was available, but basically retired from not available. He retired from acting. And so didn't want to do this. But it's. I mean, there were a couple of other people who also retired from acting but came back specially to do it. But it's a really odd series. I'm 3 episodes from the end and I still don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm enjoying the ride. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow when I do the podcast, I will talk to you about some writing I've done. And then I've got some things planned for, as I said, Saturday and Sunday, and a few things planned for next week. But no, I mean, and basically, hopefully Saturday I should get some major writing done, because I am doing something, but only for probably a few hours in the middle of the day. But the person I'm meeting is a fellow writer, so we'll probably sit in a cafe and do some writing. So even though I won't be at home, what I'm doing on Saturday won't impact on me writing, whereas Sunday visiting my godson probably will. Anyway, I'll shut up, keep it to 6 minutes roughly if I can. Take care, talk to you tomorrow, bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.